Your ego is not your amigo. Most of the problems you have is ego. And my job is not to shine. My job is to make people in my team shine. Anyone in my team shines, automatically I will shine. Having fun as 20 years old is nice, but having fun 30 years old is even better. If you are able to put that fun levels down and focus on what you really want, life-changing. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you you did a good job. You should know that yourself.
What is the high-performance mindset?
High-performance mindset is...
In the early years of my corporate career, I worked in the call center, and I worked with Kaab, and I witnessed Kaab climb up the ranks to becoming the youngest head of department in the telecom company we were working in. Some people might say it was wasta. I'm telling you, it was pure hard work and really good work ethic. In this episode, we discuss how Kaab thinks, the guardian angel that came into his life, and why a wife can either make you or break you. All right, before we kick off with this episode, if you can do me the small favor and subscribe to this channel, I'll truly appreciate it, and it will help me bring you more and more high performers to this show. This is the High Performance Mindset, and today's guest is Kaab Al Kharusi. Enjoy this episode. Kaab, your ego is not your amigo.
Oh yeah, never.
Why do you say that?
Ego doesn't... it's good to have ego, sure. Even if you have it a lot, it's fine. But you need to know how to control your ego, because most of the times the thing that really stops us succeeding, moving forward, is the ego. And it falls into different things, stopping us to get out of our comfort zones, thinking that this is halal, haram, not per the culture, it's me, I'm not supposed to be doing this, I feel that I am king of the world, So, ego is not your amigo. Simple.
How old were you when you started working as a receptionist? That was your first job, right?
Yes, that was my first job. It was straight away after high school. So what happened? I remember finished high school, and I got a scholarship to study in one of the colleges. This scholarship was going to be happening in 6 months, تقريبا. More than 6 months, because they have these 2 semesters. However, I started going around looking for jobs. And subhanallah, there's where I found out that I know how to maneuver this real world of jobs and reality. So what happened, I started going to different companies with my CV and wearing a suit, thinking that this is the corporate world, suits, okay. Went to one of the international hotels. They told me, no, sorry, you can't, I don't know if it's okay for me to mention the names of the hotels or not, but anyway, one of the international hotels. Told them that I want to do some training here. They told me, no, we don't do any trainings, but there's the HR manager, she's downstairs, you can go. So I went down to the HR manager, and she told me, oh yeah, sorry, but you have to go through this institute of training, hospitality and stuff like that. And then they bring the trainers to us. I was like, yeah, but that was my first lie, by the way. Okay, telling them, yeah, but I'm going to study hospitality, and I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do or not. So I want to work here for free, just for me to understand what's happening, and if I'm in the right direction or not. And that was the first big lie for me in my career. And she said, so you'll work for free? I said, yes, I'll work for free. She said, are you sure you're going to work for free? From this time to this time, there's no difference between you and any other employee. I said, yeah, I am going to work for free. It's fine. I'm supposed to pay you because I'm learning. And she told me, okay, you start tomorrow? Just trying to say. I was like, yeah, start tomorrow. And that was my first job. I trained for 3 months. After the 3 months, they offered me a job as a receptionist, concierge, everything, even the operator, phone calls. sometimes being a bouncer in the clubs that they have, the nightclubs. Subhanallah, I trained there for 3 months, free, 0 riyals. And after that, I got my first offer. And they offered me a job. I worked there for another around 4 months. Until the day I started college, I resigned.
What was your motive to go and get this job?
I couldn't stay home. I couldn't sit doing nothing. I mean, alhamdulillah, I had everything. My parents, ما قصروا, they always had everything on the table يعني, for us. But that's where you start controlling the ego part, which we talked about. My ego was telling me, no, I can't just sit home and wait for my parents or my mom or my dad to tell me what's next in life. I need to get in reality and see what's happening. وبعدين احنا شباب يعني, you know, من school days we had problems. Always jumping walls and fighting with men or fighting with what. So it really helped, صراحة. And one of the biggest things I remember when I started there, and it really touched me and changed the way I focus in my life, in the way I'm looking at what's to come, is there was a guy next to me on my night shifts, I remember. And this guy was, maybe his late 40s, Omani, late 40s, night shift, leaving his kids alone at home with his wife, working in a receptionist job for the past 20 years or maybe 15 years, whatever it was that time. And that's not something I wanted to do. I set it in my head and said, no, Kaab, yes, you're learning, yes, you're doing this, and yes, this is perfect for you now, but it's not good for you in 10 years. So you need to understand that this is the reality of life.
You felt like if I do not make effort, I could become this guy.
See, it's not a bad thing to be there. فهمت كيف? It's a job في النهاية. It's better than a person without a job
Of course.
فهمت؟ بس نحن we come from a community, you know, where I just told you at the beginning, my parents gave me everything فهمت كيف? So why would I even think of
what would be your excuse?
To be a receptionist, or even think that life could be this worse or this bad that we see because we were not exposed to it. فهمت كيف? We were always busy from school, with the same circles of friends. We've never seen that part of life. And going out and being able to work and seeing the reality of people, that really opened my eyes. And by the way, that even made me study better when I started college. I took my studies seriously.
Seriously.
So even in college, I remember there were people, some other friends who they were like, you know, college, having fun. And for me, no, it was not fun. For me, it was a target. I need to finish. I need to move on. Because life is not about fun. And talking about life not being fun, I remember my elder brother, who is between me and him تقريبا 6 years difference in the age. He was in college already and I was still in school he used to tell me always, Kaab, you'll have fun later. Focus now on what you're doing. You will have fun later. قلت له كيف قال you see, having fun as 20 years old is nice, but having fun 30 years old is even better. Because it's more expensive to have fun at 30 years old. So if you can afford it, it means you're having fun that you really need. 20 years old, it's easy. It's cheap to have fun. Everyone has fun. But if you are able to put that fun levels down and focus on what you really want, well, it's changing, life changing. And subhanAllah, I could see it. Now I'm heading to my 40s, and I can see it. Yeah.
And then when you started working at the call center, well, that was how long after?
That was 2 years after me getting into college. Around 3 years me into college. I remember it was the time where I was getting my diploma. Yeah, just before getting my diploma. I got my job in the call center job that you are aware of also.
Yes.
And that call center job was an upgrade from where I used to work before that, as a receptionist and concierge and being a bouncer and all those things that you don't want to see. But it is happening. It was an upgrade. It was very positive. The team was...
What made you go to look for this job?
Again, it was one of those parts where I'm finishing my diploma. I have a summer holiday, and there's this new company that came in to Oman in telecom, without mentioning names. And we wanted to be part of it. We wanted to see what's happening. How can we be part of it? It was coincidence, صراحة, to say the truth. I sent my CV, I remember. I'll tell you this very fast story. Sent my CV to the company. Hey, is it okay to mention names of companies?
Yeah, I mean, like if there's no harm intended, so it's okay.
So it was Norris, them. So I remember when I saw the ad on, it was, I don't remember what was it, صراحة, internet ولا شيء. المهم, I applied. It was their first year of operations, Norris. And applied there, and they called me for mass interview. It was mass interviews. They were doing mass interviews. Everything is mass, because it's a new company, things are happening. What was the job? Call center. Fantastic. Went there. I remember I did it with the director of the call center. She was in expat, not in Omani. And did the interview with her. She was so tough. The lady, I'm sure you know her also. And the next day they called me and told me, yeah, you have a job. You did well. Can you come here so we can discuss more? I was like, okay, this is fast and nice. The first job I worked, I had to work 3 months without a salary. So anyhow, went, I remember, to the headquarters in Adeba. It was new in there. And I got in, and they were like, yeah, congratulations, you got the job, and this is your contract. You sign, and you start. In my back of my head, I'm like, okay, but I have college. In those days, people are, college, مستحيل يطلع من college, he goes and works. College is college, everyone is focused to be in his...
it's not part of our culture.
Yeah, it's not, you don't mix the two, فهمت? They are, I'm sure, but it was not something common. I went there and they told me, I remember this very clearly. My salary was 300 and something, 320 riyals, شيء كذا, 320 riyals. I called my mom back home and I tell her, Mom, I got a job. She was like, oh, really, where? I told her, Norris, this new telco company, right? Yeah, okay, fantastic. No, but you're not going to work there. I was like, why? She said, yeah, because you're studying. You need to focus on your studies. How are you going to focus and be, you don't need anything. You're home, you have food, you're sleeping, you're everything, you know how it is. فقلت لها, yeah, you're 100% right. Totally agree with you. ويلا إن شاء الله خير So I closed the phone and I signed the contract. So if she's going to see this podcast, I'm sure she'll be very unhappy about it. But I think so, I did tell her. So, yeah, start working there. I don't remember seeing anyone in my college where they used to work. They were always students only. But I was the only one who was in college, night shifts at work, afternoon at work. If I'm not in college, I'm at work.
Yeah.
If I'm not at work, I'm in college. And subhanallah, it was fun, for me at least. I really had fun. I try to have fun with anything it is, whatever it is. How difficult it is, I always try to have fun with it.
Right.
And I used to have this saying. Let me see if it rings a bell with you.
Rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. So everyone used to call Kaab inside internally, and they used to hear that rock and roll. And they were like, okay.
What did you mean by that?
it's just keep on rolling. Keep on rolling. Move on. Let's move. Let's keep the momentum up. يعني, you know, don't go down. يعني. And subhanallah, I remember even once one of my colleagues يعني, transferred a call from a customer because I was not answering calls from customers anymore. يعني after تقريبا how many months وكده, because I moved to the technical team وهذا. He actually transferred the call without telling me. So I thought it was him. And when I picked up the call, I was like, rock and roll. And the customer is like, naam. And everything went sideways. But it was good. It was good. Yeah.
And then, short after that, like when you got in the call center, did you have a clear goal? Like, what do you want to achieve out of it? Or what was your mindset like then?
والله شوف أنا my mindset from the beginning.
I'm saying this because rock and roll. Next thing you know, boom, Kaab is the new customer service process manager.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Like
my mindset أصلاً يعني I kept it, and this is
sorry to cut you off. In case anyone wants to take some credit away, anything, أنا شاهد. There was no wasta involved.
Alhamdulillah.
The guy was, mashallah, putting in the work and
rocking and rolling.
يعني.
Even though I don't use rock and roll anymore these days. Alhamdulillah. But see, I had a mindset from the beginning, يعني. And this is something very important. And I always tell people, يعني, even with us in where I work now, I work for Amantel now, and I do the strategies of Amantel together with the performance of the company. You know, يعني, see from where we started and where we reached. So I always tell them, guys, it's not about having a target only of where you want to be, but mostly knowing where you are. فهمت? There are so many people who have a glue stick to the seats. When I get into any job, I feel that I'm not going to be here after 1 year or 2 years. That's my mindset. What is next? I will see. صراحة ما بكذب عليك and tell you that I set a plan and this is where I want to reach. No. My goal is understanding why I wake up in the morning, which I'll get into this also. Tell you why you wake up in the morning and what motivates you to move on. The second thing is developing people more than developing yourself only. Because you can develop yourself to a certain extent and then you become useless of those extra development that you keep on doing. Especially if you're working for an organization or something. Unless you have your own company and you're doing something completely different, that's a different story. But for me personally, I don't stick to a seat. I feel that هذا كرسي يسموه كرسي الحلاق. يعني تدخل, you shave and have a haircut and then you leave. You don't take your chair with you. فهمت كيف?
Okay.
So what stays is the development of people. And that's what you see and that's what satisfies you as a person.
So was it immediately after you became the process manager, you had a team, or is it because later on and then you became, mashallah, the section head of quality and process?
So this, just to give you a story in short, the process manager was a job where people used to live. So they come, they stay there for 1 year, and they always leave to marketing, to marfwesh, فهمت كيف? The exciting places of the organization.
Now that you say that, I'm like, yes, I did notice.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So in my goal was different. My goal was to expand that place and give more opportunities to people within the organization itself. So once I got the position, اللي هو the process manager, I remember, that was the time where it stopped, other movements of people moving, and it started to be a place where people want to join. But we started with one person, which was me, and then the second person came in, and third, fourth, fifth, all the way to a full quality team, and it was crazy. I don't even remember what was the number, nearly 20 or something. But it was, my goal was to develop people, and I enjoyed it يعني فهمت كيف enjoying developing people seeing people succeed.
And when you became the process manager, how old were you?
Oh, I think so I was 23 يمكن 24 شيء كده.
Yeah. What was it like being the youngest manager there, right?
You see,
At least.
you saying it now يعني you're right. And then I never thought of it. Actually, I never thought of it until now that I was the youngest one. فهمت?
Oh, you didn't feel
I didn't
being
feel
treated differently?
No, because I don't know. I never thought of it. يعني for me, work is work. يعني فهمت كيف? We have processes put in place. We have things to move on. We have to rock and roll. يعني فهمت? There was no time to even think of those things. يعني. وسبحان الله يعني.
Did you feel like you had maybe more to prove because you're the youngest? Well, not really.
Never. صراحة never. يعني the only thing I used to tell people around me is that, guys, I don't need to shine. I don't need to shine, and I'm not working to shine, by the way. The only thing I do...
This is after you had a team, man.
Yes, after having a team, yeah. I was telling them, guys, my job is not to shine. My job is to make people in my team shine. Anyone in my team shines, automatically I will shine. No matter how I try shining, and if my team is not shining, we're not going anywhere.
Why some managers don't see it that way?
So many things. Ego is one of the things. And that's why I said ego is not your amigo. Because personally, يعني they stick to the chairs, right? Again. So if you look at what I just said, they all connected. اللي هو your chair, don't get connected to it. It means you're not worried of losing it, because you know there's something better.
Why do you know there's something better?
There's always something better, because if you are sure of what you're doing, and you are sure of
the value
you can give, and you know how to control the ego that you have, and you're not stick to the chair, you are 100% sure that you have another place to be.
Okay.
فهمت كيف? Whether it is personally, whether it's organizationally, corporate, whatever it is يعني.
And then in terms of when you let your team shine, what is the benefits there?
They grow up to be better people in the organization itself. When I say better people, I mean better people in the outcome that they give, or the value that they give to the organization itself. And unfortunately for me, I always keep on moving. Alhamdulillah يعني. And it's the same thing even when I got into Amman 10. I remember I started in the transformation office, which was a completely new office. People are like, "Are you crazy? Why are you getting into this office? No one knows about it. What is your job?" And those days, ma kan fi transformation offices around, like the trend it is now. So we had a target to keep this office for 3 years, and after 3 years, we don't know what's happening. فهمت كيف? And subhanallah, it worked out, and it was good, يعني. And people got developed, and trust me, we had people who came from universities who were working with us. Today they're in different places flying.
Mashallah.
And it's so good to see that. That's really what makes me wake up, to see people flying, being ambassadors to us in different departments, different organizations. يعني that's what you will keep forever, not the chair. The chair, مثل ما خبرتك قبل this podcast, everyone will go out with taqa'ad at the end. But the things that you do, and the things that you keep,
the impact
not to the organization only, but to the people in the organization, is what stays with you forever. So yeah.
And one of the people like you worked with was, you had friends also working with you, like when back in Norris?
Yes, actually there were people who became friends.
Okay.
After becoming colleagues. Yeah.
Okay, not before.
No. Yeah, we knew each other in some cases,
but not actual friends.
Yeah, but not hang out together.
Okay. Well, I'm bringing this point up because the next question is, what is it like working with your friend?
It's not easy.
Yeah. So how do you strike the balance
صراحة,
there?
يعني, see, it's not easy. If I tell anyone who's a new manager or something like that, it's not easy. But with experience, it becomes so easy. صراحة. يعني I flip. There's a time for friends and there's time for work. I can be your friend at work, but we all have to understand that we have the same target. We have the same goal that we're trying to reach here as an organization. And yes, we did reach into places where I had to show the other face, يعني.
Yeah.
But we're friends, يعني, till today with most of them.
What are things like you feel you would have done differently because now you understand it differently?
In what sense you're talking about?
Like how you've dealt, let's say, with your team or...
Wallahi, I don't think so. يعني, there's much changes that we could have done. I think so we should... يعني, I would have done the same thing. صراحة يعني. I wouldn't change it. Sometimes, there's ups, there's downs. It's normal يعني. That's life يعني. If there's no ups and downs, there's no friction, there's nothing يعني. فهمتي? To breathe, you need air and friction with your nose, for it to get in. I think so it's very normal to have ups and downs. And عادي يعني. I don't regret anything.
And then when you made the move, let's say because last thing, like you left Nauris, you were the department head of customer experience.
Yes.
Then you moved to Amantel. The position was more individual rather than, being a leader with a team.
Yes.
A more specialized position. Like people don't do that move usually going up the corporate ladder.
Yes.
So what was your motive there?
This is going back to the same thing which I just said. I don't stick to chairs, number one. Number two, I felt that I gave enough in that place. The next thing that's going to happen is that it's going to be boring. And I can't do that. I have to, I look for excitement. I look for challenges, changes.
And what excites you?
Challenges. Things that are difficult. Anything which is difficult, I love it. فهمت كيف؟ يعني, oh wow, let's try to make it easy. Unfortunately, I had to leave Nauris after 10 years. صراحة, it was an amazing journey with them, especially that we started. I even call it Nauris. I don't call it Uridu. يعني. I'm used to that name. يعني. It has a place in our heart.
Same, yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to leave. But I needed to look for new challenges. خلاص. Because خلاص, the team are already good. They're all fantastically. Everyone is doing his job right. خلاص, I need to move on. I need to go and do some other stuff. يعني. And subhanallah, as you mentioned, the job title was different. In Uridu, I was خلاص, يعني, being announced as the department head for customer experience at the same time. And in Amantel, I went as a senior expert, which is far away from leadership. But the goal was to actually do the transformation of the organization. We had people from different places around who came in to this team, the A team, let's say. And subhanallah, it was an amazing 3 years journey. And from there moved into commercial planning. So this was another new function, which is a commercial planning team. Customer experience being part of it. I have customer experience in my blood. It's one of my DNAs. And I left customer experience after 2 years of that. And now I'm in the strategy team, taking care of strategy execution. Look at the journey. Completely different everywhere. And an expert in everywhere.
If we go a little bit back to your childhood, where did you guys live? You remember?
Yes, I lived in the first house, which I was living in when I was born, was Sahlabi.
Okay.
وصيح الظبي سبحان الله يعني even every Ramadan تقريبا me and my brother ولا شيء كده ولا my brothers we go out تعرف هيك Ramadan drive and we have to go to Sahlabi to see our old house.
Okay.
And then our ex house, let's say. And that was the house which was the only house I cried when I was leaving. So I was leaving, we left there, I was what, 10 years old يمكن ولا شيء كده أقل من 10 years old I think so, yeah, less than 10. But I remember I was crying because I loved that place. It had, my first bicycle ride, it had my first friends, my first hara, my first football, I felt كده كأنه someone's taking something out of me. بعدين سبحان الله, after that I never cried moving house. We moved a lot after that. فهمت? Moved to الحيل, مدينة قاووس, ما عارف ويش. And now for the past 20 years تقريبا وين الخوير يعني.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it called? Do you remember as a kid what you were into?
What?
You were into?
والله destructiveness, I think so, was what I was into. يعني I remember we had this game, me and my brother in the house. يعني he used to stand at the end of it wasn't the Sahlabi house by the way. He used to stand at the end of the corridor وأنا هذا الكوريدور, and we used to hit the cars ونشوف أي واحد ينكسر أول شيء, ما أي واحد يفوز, أي واحد ينكسر. So I think so, fixing stuff that I destructed that was what I was into mostly يعني.
And then as a teenager you had the same interest or did it change?
As a teenager after high school يعني قصدك يعني كذا, it was more of camping, outdoors, friends, traveling, it was mostly all those things يعني.
No, I mean like around 13 years old.
Oh, 13? No, 13 was the same. Distraction still. Mostly distraction. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was more about breaking stuff and seeing what's inside. Yeah.
What do you think like influenced your work ethic?
My parents were very workaholic and they had very high ethics. My father worked in the same place for his whole life. My mom did the same for her whole life. We used to see that they are trying to be at work on time, even though life was not easy, by the way. Sending kids to school, for those days it was different. يعني فهمت كيف؟ ما في roads, ما في cars too much. You don't have like maids everywhere or nannies وما أعرف إيش. For them to be able to do that and be at work on time every day and be able to provide to their families and give us what we are today. That built my work ethics more. Made me really look at work seriously. And when I say work, I don't mean working for the same company or being in the same place. When I say work, I mean the development part, how to help people be better, how to make their lives easier, even when they're at work. We just talked about, before this, we talked about AI and how fast it is and how far it's reaching. So many people will push it back because it might take your job, right? For me, it's perfect because I wanted to take my job. I wanted to take my job so I can do something else.
Okay.
Something better. So that's the kind of ethics and mindsets that came from my parents, seeing them struggle to make us live a beautiful life. And subhanallah, that's it. Yeah.
And then I remember you told me like in the last year of high school, you were hospitalized like for surgery for over a month.
Yes, actually it was twice. So I had internal bleeding in my cyst. Okay, so it was called a splenic cyst in the medical terms. This comes from trauma. So if you've been in an accident and there was that hit your spleen, there might be a cyst that grows there. Now, because I was playing basketball, got hit in my stomach so many times. We used to play this rough basketball, street basketball, with the different people who were into that kind of roughness of basketball. I got internal bleeding for more than 2 years تقريبا. أنا ما عندي خبر in my cyst, in my spleen, sorry. I remember when I did an operation the first time, I stayed in ICU تقريبا من الأسبوع, and I was in a hospital for more than a month. Of course, I was half of what you see today because there was no food. I was not eating. I was not eating for years. ما that time. It was like eat one خلاص بعد. ما عندي خبر إنه I have a 20 centimeter cyst in my stomach. So everything else was pushed. حتى كان in the newspapers they put the picture of the cyst. It was the first time they're doing an operation like this. 20 centimeters in diameter. That's not a joke. And imagine 20 centimeters of something like this in your stomach. For the doctors, there was a team of doctors.
Was it causing you like pain or?
No pain at all. I remember, usually at home, you don't go out. As I told you, we were all guys at home. ما في بنات, شباب كلنا. You come out from a shower وكذا, not wearing your t-shirt, مع فيش. Luckily and unluckily, my mom saw me that day. And she was like, what's that in your stomach? I was like, nothing. عضلات أسوي gym وكذا, 6 pack. قالت, no, it's not normal. You need to go to the hospital and check it. ورحت. The doctors were happy to see me because they told me that the next time you had another trauma in that place, you'll be dead. فهمت? Simple. There'll be a blast of cyst inside you. Oh, that's it. Allah يرحمك. I was lucky, I did that operation the first time. It was a long one, a long time in the hospital. I even had to drop school for my last year للأسف. بس عسى تكرهوا شيء هو خير لكم. I think it was a good thing.
Why?
Because my health came back better, and the priority was my health, not studies that time. And this is another thing, I tell people ثالث ثانوي ما عرفوا ايش, it's nice, it's good, it's very good to have وكذا, but it's not the end of the world. فهمت? I repeated it for no reason. ما no reason, بس I was in the hospital.
How did you feel about repeating the year?
والله عادي. Then it was شوية, I was happy to be out of the hospital صراحة, because in the hospital also you learn a lot of things. But it depends on what mindset you have. My mindset was different شوية. I was rocking and rolling مثل ما يقولوا. I was not seeing the other side of what does that mean to me and that came in later stages yeah. And then the second operation happened again.
Was it like you've been?
It's the same thing.
Same year?
Yeah, 1 year in between.
Okay, not long after.
No, not long after. 1 year in between. أقل من 1 year actually in between. It's a complication because of the first operation, because how big it was. Subhanallah, the second operation they expected it to happen, because they said if it happens then this is the fix. And also again another month in the hospital, and then I was free for my studies after that. Alhamdulillah, it was good.
And then college, you mentioned something. You mentioned that you had a guardian angel that stepped in your life for 1 year exactly.
Yeah.
And then left.
So this this guy, this story is very touching to me صراحة, whenever I talk about it. And this is the reason I moved from rock and roll to Alhamdulillah. So I had a friend, الله يرحمه, اسمه علي الرواحي. And this guy was a guardian angel to me, because he came in my life 1 year. He was the opposite of who I am, complete opposite. Trust me when I say complete opposite, from everything, from body, from habits, from the way we talk. He became very close to me for a full year. The people used to see us, because I used to tutor him in math. It's not because I was good in math, because I was afraid of math. And when I was afraid of math, I needed to study so hard about it. And when I studied so hard, I was the top of class. I was tutoring him on that. on how to succeed it, to overcome his fear also of math. فالمهم, when people used to see us in coffee shops وكذا, there was a coffee shop that we sit in, and we used to study هناك دائما يعني. When people used to see us, they were like, how come you sitting with this guy? They're asking me, how come are you sitting with this guy? يعني he's not your style at all يعني. فهمت كيف؟ واجد محترم. I told you he's a guy in India. المهم, one day coming out of college, he tells me, Kaab, we have an exam وكذا كذا كذا. I need you to sit with me and teach me 1, 2, 3. I tell him, yeah, I'm busy now. I'm going to the gym. I was really going to the gym يعني. فقلت له I'm busy now. I'm going to the gym. We'll sit another day. He's like, Kaab, please, let's sit. قلت له زين يلا خلاص. Let's go to this coffee shop. But no going to pray وما أعرف ويش. No. Come to the coffee shop. Let's study and then you go and pray. وهذا ليش يا زين. Don't bother me يعني with these things. المهم, we went to the coffee shop. I believe he went to pray because he was late. And then he came to the coffee shop. وجلسنا وشرحت له كل شيء. Everything was fine, fantastic. And we left the coffee shop. I remember. While we're leaving, هو ما شاء الله عليه يعني, each time he parks his car in front of the coffee shop. سبحان الله, he's lucky يعني, he gets a parking. وأنا my car, سبحان الله على حظي, it's always like 5 minutes walk. فهمت? So he always walks with me to my car, and then he comes back to his car.
Wow.
زين. فأنا ذاك اليوم قلت له, Ali, no, sorry, you're gonna get into your car here, and I'm going to walk to my car. Listen, if you come with me, you can delete my number. Okay. فقال لا كعب يا أخي الله يهديك وبعرف ويش. I remember him يعني exact words يعني, الله يهديك ويش فيك انت كذا ما أعرف ويش, ما متى الله يهديك, when are you going to cool down يعني. فهمت كيف؟ you always كذا fighting and running around. قلت له اركب سيارتك and tomorrow we'll talk in the morning because we have something to finish. قال لي بس خلاص إن شاء الله وما أعرف ويش, إذا الله قدر علينا وإن شاء الله we'll be in touch. قلت له okay, good. The word إن شاء الله وهذا doesn't come out of my mouth يعني. زين. Anyhow, next day in the morning, someone calls me from work, tells me, Kaab, did you hear? I was like, what? He said, Ali. I said, yeah, what's wrong with him? He died. I was like, which Ali are you talking about? It can't be يعني. I have to talk to him after a little bit يعني. And he's like, لا علي توفى خلاص يعني, الله يرحمه وكذا. So I was like, الله يرحمه إن شاء الله وكذا. كيف? Yeah, he was asleep يعني, فجر, he passed away. حلو. Went to work. Still يعني ما ضارب راسي يعني. Went to work. Worked of course normal عادي يعني, things are moving on. No one knows him يعني, فهمت? He's not working with us ولا شيء. قبل الظهر كذا يجي الشخص هذاك يقول لي, كعب, you're going to دفن? قلت له yeah, of course. And we went to the دفن. I was not driving, I was sitting يعني with هذاك الشخص. I remember this. These are the things which I will never forget يعني. فالمهم وصلنا المقبرة. أول ما وصلنا المقبرة he was kept down. هو يتيم by the way. So his parents, his father and his mother died long time ago. فهمت؟ So he was taking care of his brothers and sisters وكذا. وكبار هم يعني, brothers and sisters too. anyhow, أول ما شفته قدامي أتذكر down. Man, I think so I cried more than his own brothers. Seriously, it hit me so hard. Looking at it, saying, Kaab, Malik Maut was looking at him that time, by the way, but he could have been looking at you. What do you have to say if he was looking at you? How are you going to answer anything? What are you going to do? And I'm not polishing now. ما أقول لك إنه I was praying. No, ما في prayers, ما في شيء يعني. فهمت كيف? Life, running, progress, development, but no religion. This guy changed my life. ما أعرف, I can't say 360 degrees because that will bring us back to the same point. I would say 180 degrees, the other side. And since then, life has become beautiful. And this is why I believe he's my guardian angel that Allah brought to me for 1 year. He changed my life. I never forget him any day of my life. Every day of my life, I remember him. I've been to Umrah for him more than once already. والله يرحمه إن شاء الله.
Why do you feel he was your turning point?
Because he was. Nothing. There's no other explanation. He was. He's the person who came into my life. He was so close to me. I was never close to anyone in my life like that. He was so opposite of who I am. It doesn't make sense. فهمت كيف? If you look at it, there's no sense. Hisham, انت today you'll sit with people who are having the same interests, for example. فهمت? Maybe not all, but some.
Yes.
You will sit with people who are related to you. You sit with people that you studied with. You know, you sit with people who are maybe from the same community, same area. There's nothing. Nothing. بالعكس, you would not want to sit with someone and then all your friends who come around you and tell you, هشام مالك تجلس مع هذا. فهمت كيف؟ هشام ليش تجلس مع هذا? You know, he's not your style. فهمت كيف؟ You never do that. In most cases فهمت كيف؟ And this is what happened. And subhanallah, he used to tell me every day since the day I knew him, he used to tell me, كعب الله يهديك. كعب اهدى. كعب كيف? How? You know, how are you doing this? How كذا? And I saw it. So many times I got it. مثل ما خبرتك, I was in operations وكذا. I was thinking about why is the room green or blue? I was not thinking about I might die and I'll meet Allah. You know? So yeah, it changed a lot after that. Alhamdulillah, life became so beautiful. Decided to get married. Have three beautiful daughters now. Sujood, Aya, and Dua. They are everything to me. And the mother, of course.
What do you feel like you changed after having daughters?
Yes. Especially that I come from a family مثل ما خبرتك كلنا شباب كنا. We got the sister at the end هذاك الحلقة الأخيرة فهمت كيف we got the sister. So we were all shocked. Oh, we have a sister. How are things going to be?
But you didn't grow up together. Yeah.
فهمت كيف? And then we got out of it because خلاص she was the one who was at home ونحن we're the ones who are out, looking for what to be done. After getting daughters, صراحة, I feel that it comes together. Being religiously chilled at the same time. Having my daughters made me more accepting to things, more chilled to listen and ideas, listening to other people's ways more than my own way. It might be that it's a father-daughter thing, or it might be that I'm forced actually to do that. But
from your perspective, what were the thought process shifts?
Oh yes. So forget about let's say the marriage. It happens. I felt that خلاص, this is something I have to do. Now it's nice. I got the right lady to be my wife and the mother of my kids, inshallah, in the future if it happens. And it's, by the way, I said if it happens, it's very important, because we always have to understand and believe that Allah is the one in control, not us. We want, but Allah does what He wants. So if it happens, I always use that, inshallah. Once find out that we're getting our first baby after a couple of years it was scary for me. Not scary financially ولا شيء. لا, it was scary إنه كيف بربيهم. If it's a boy or a girl, I don't know, but how will I raise them? Everyone is in malls, screens, or going out to technology, electrical games وهالاشياء, and this is something I hated. Why? Especially that I am in the business of of technology. I can see it's too much. People are into it. That's the time I sat with my wife and we decided, you know what? We're going to do something different. What? We buy a caravan.
Okay.
Before the baby comes, by the way, we buy a caravan. We bought our first caravan, I remember. My daughter, when she was 40 days old, she was on the beach. You know, we have that culture thing that we need to keep 40 days till they don't go out.
40 days.
40 days on the beach, my friends. My daughter was on the sand. I remember. Allah yahfadha. She was on the sand, kept her down. 40 days, of course, she can't really move, but she was there. She had the connection with the sea, with the sand. And because we love that also, as her parents, we love camping, we love كذا يعني فهمت.
You didn't feel at that age, or maybe
I was crazy.
Dust and all that.
No, I felt that I was crazy, but at the same time, we had an understanding between me and my wife, and we both wanted to do that. فهمت? But it became so easy.
What was your reason behind it?
Just for them to be connected to the earth, يعني.
Nature.
To nature. It's very important. Yeah, they tell you when you walk on the beach, you walk without shoes. يعني يقولوا like فهمت? And I think the first encounters of any person who comes into this world should be the earth itself. يعني. فهمت كيف? Nature, the sound of the sea, the breeze of the sea وهذا. فسبحان الله يعني first baby was like that, second baby was like that, third baby was like that. The caravan became bigger. We bought a bigger one. Until today يعني سبحان الله they enjoy outdoors more than indoors.
Why you feel like you told me the caravan changed your daughter's lives?
Yes.
How?
Because it was something that we both يعني as a mother and a father we were both very comfortable to take our kids and sleep in the beach. They have a toilet, they have a kitchen, you know, they have everything there. So they're safe inside when you close it at night, but at the same time they're in the nature. فهمت كيف? So it's a beautiful feeling يعني, and it really changed the way life is for the kids. ليش? Otherwise they would have been in malls. فهمت كيف؟ in those video games وكذا 24/7 يعني. And
you try and create that disconnection.
Trying to create a disconnection, and I believe in it's very difficult to take out someone from nature and make him love something which is not nature. So my job is to make sure that you see the natural part, and then you decide if you like to go to that.
At least expose them to it.
But they were exposed and they're loving it. And I'm not telling you that they don't go to malls at all. No, they do. But they love being in the beach or the wadi more. فهمت? And again تربية مثل يعني we know all of us ما في صح وما في غلط. It's all experiments.
And you're always
and
learning.
You evolve. Yeah.
You said going to the cancer ward really changed your life.
شوف cancer wards is يعني cancer ward of kids, let's say.
Yes.
Okay. We always hear old people being sick. هذاك هذيك you know مساكين الله يرحمهم, they had cancer, they were old, they were kid. We never hear they were, you know, that kid was 3 years old, 5 years old, had cancer.
Yeah, it's not common.
8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, and that's what you see in the cancer ward. I tell anyone who has a chance, even if you have 10 riyals with you, you don't have 10 riyals, you have 500 basis. Take balloons, buy balloons, go to the cancer ward, try your best to get the access to get it, go and see what's inside, and trust me, you will see life differently. Because there are parents there who are, Hisham, lifeless. فهمت? They brought that kid to have a life, and they became lifeless. No life. They have nothing but to be in the hospitals. Very sad to see, but very inspiring also to see how some of them are really strong. Not the parents only, the kids themselves. We feel that we are nothing when we go there and see how strong they are. And we do it from time to time. We were even planning to do it soon. I might let you know inshallah, if you're willing to
I'm
come.
down.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
Nothing special, يعني, فهمت? You buy toys, you go there, sit with them, laugh, talk, see stuff. But it's different. And it's just, يعني, you pass in front of it يمكن every day. But you don't know what's happening inside. Now when I look at the hospital, I see it differently. فهمت? You might pass in front of a hospital and remember an experience that you had. But you don't know what it is inside now. يعني. There are lives, families, people who are connected to that place more than you being connected to the masjid or to the Quran. Yeah.
You said a wife makes you or breaks you.
Oh, yes. A wife is very important. And I believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written everything for us. Okay? We are not here to change. We talked about leadership at the beginning, you know. How do you become leaders? How do you lead your teams? And what makes you happy? And how do you develop? It's the same thing in your marriage, Tara. You don't tell people what to do. You lead by example. If you are a clean person, you're a person who's straight, people will see it, they will change. If they want to be with you, yeah. Otherwise, they'll just change friends or, you know. I lost 99% of my friends, by the way, in this whole journey. But I have the best friends now. And the best people to know, yani. Well, alhamdulillah. The wife breaks you or makes you. You remember when you asked me a few minutes ago about the caravan and taking your daughter 40 days? What did I tell you? I told you, me and my wife, we had an understanding. It became so easy. Because once she has a goal and you have the same goal with her, or you have a goal and she has the same goal, you work together. And trust me, in this life, if you two are together, nothing can stop you. فهمت كيف؟ إلا Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, يعني, of course. And that's, we wish him to stop us أصلا, if it's what he wants.
Yes.
But أنا قصدي إنه there's no barriers in front of you. ليش? Because you are the closest people together. If you guys understand each other and you understand that this is the target where we're going to, and she supports you or you support her, خلاص.
But I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want to get there.
Yes.
But from your experience, what are the things that helps a married person get there?
See, I'll explain it to you in details, but in a high level, I'll tell you, ego is not your amigo. Again, ego is not your amigo, ليش? Because most of the problems you have between what you just said, you know, you want to reach there, is ego. نحن متعودين نحن شباب, we're straight, you know, it's our way or the highway. فهمت كيف؟ No, it's not like that. انت get to fix yourself أول شيء, يعني. فهمت كيف؟ أنا personally I had a lot of work to do on myself, يعني. And I was lucky enough, يعني, إنه I was doing all these changes and my wife is seeing it, يعني. فهمت كيف؟ فسبحان الله, يعني. She supported me a lot, يعني, for this, going to Hajj together. I walked in Hajj. I had ايش يسموه هذا الانكل لا, when you twist an ankle. I twisted an ankle in Hajj.
Oh.
Okay. And the whole way هذاك انت كم كيلو تمشي. My wife was the one who was holding me. كانوا يجيبوا wheelchair يقولوا, bring a wheelchair for Kaab.
Yeah.
So that she was like, no wheelchair, I will carry him. And trust me, I'm big, yeah.
I was just thinking about that part. I was like, yeah. She must be very strong.
So subhanallah, yani, I feel that everything comes together. Yani. Subhanallah, religion is beautiful, man. I've heard a lot of people talk about, you know, growing up, seeing that this is haram, halal, and they didn't see the beauty of what Islam can give. And I believe, I'm telling you, they are 100% right. We do not teach the beauty of Islam. We teach the behind, the reasons behind of it. يعني ليش إذا ما تصلي بتروح النار. فهمت كيف؟ إذا تصلي بتروح الجنة. You know, there's always something at the end. No, that's not the thing. Why are you praying? What's the benefit of praying? You know, what are you thinking? Who are you thinking? What you're thanking him for? What exactly? You know, breathing, waking up. Are we talking about that, the beauty of waking up, and then reach to the point where we need to thank Allah for it by praying? You know, it's always about haram, halal, wrong, right, tradition, not traditional.
Yeah, basically, people always worship out of fear or out of desire for reward.
Exactly.
But what are you talking about to do it out of love?
Love, yeah, man, it's beautiful. صراحة, it's beautiful. And it changes lives. I mean, if you see how, يعني myself,
did you always have that perspective, or at some point you're like,
my perspective changed completely into religion after Ali. Allah يرحمه. Before that, I had no perspective at all of anything to do with religion. يعني صراحة, I don't lie about it. I tell you the truth. My life actually started then. And if you considered me, asking me, Kaab, when did your life start? It's then. When I started becoming in love with my religion and seeing the beauty of it. And subhanAllah, it's rewarding, it's everything. Which also what people want, and what we all want. We all want rewards. We can't lie and say, no, we don't. We do want. But if you do anything without love, it's useless. La? If you go to work and you don't love your work, it means you're working. But if you go to work and you love your work, it means you never worked. أصلا. فهمت كيف؟ So yeah, that's how it is.
You mentioned like Islam guides you, and that guide is what changes your life.
Yes, because Islam, the whole thing, أصلا Islam كامل is a guide to us, right? Telling us things about leadership, for example. نحن leadership من أيام رسول في leadership. فهمت كيف؟ But do we really look at it? لا. We look at books from scholars وما أعرف إيش, people from corporate world, but we don't look at the religion. I advise people, just to answer your question of guidance, I always advise people before getting married to read the Sunnah of the Rasul and how he dealt with his wives. Let's do 5% of that or 10%. If we can do 10% of that, fantastic, you live very happy with your wife. 10%. But your ego needs to die. You need to have more كيف أشرح لك sense of not being right. I was always right. I always wanted to be right. I always used to fight with people to make sure that my point is clear. And I'm right about it, by the way. كذا يعني. Now, no. No, I don't mind يعني. I'm right, I'm wrong. Who cares? I care about what I do myself. وأهم شيء رضا الله. إذا الله راضي علي and I feel that somehow it might be okay يعني إنه الله راضي علي, that's it. Anything else, chill. Life is beautiful. Islam is beautiful.
And then you also mentioned like waking up. You shouldn't like be focused on what you can get.
هو ما know what you can get. What I would say is knowing why you wake up. مثل ما قلت لك أول, knowing where you are. Also knowing why you wake up. What's your passion يعني, فهمت كيف? Why do you wake up in the morning? Do people ask these things to themselves? يعني أنا never used to ask myself this. بس بعدين I started asking myself إنه أنا what makes me wake up fresh? فهمت? What makes me wake up looking forward for the day? Do I understand that? Yes, no. I'm trying to think يعني. وسبحان once you get to know what it is, then you will fly. Trust me, you'll fly. يعني أنا أقول لك a simple example. And I always told you from the beginning when we were talking in this podcast, كنت أخبرك ويش؟ أقول لك دائما it is important for me to develop people. It's very important. I love developing people, whether it is my kids, my wife, my brothers, my sisters, my sister actually, not sisters, sister, friends, colleagues, anything. Develop one thing in them. Only one thing. If you can develop one thing that they will keep with them, it's more than enough. And that's the understanding I came to at the end, no, this is what makes me move on. This is what fuels me to wake up and be happy. So of course, developing my kids is a different story. I give more priority to it. فهمت كيف? Because I'm obliged. It's my duty to do that. The rest, it's not my duty, right? But it makes me happy to do it. And at work, I start sitting with people to give them high level, hypothetical life lessons, let's say, about things and how to develop themselves. So I'll give you a small example. There's this Gen Zs who came to Mantel recently. Smart kids. They're the best. They're the future, صراحة يعني. And I see them going to the coffee shop every day, buying stuff, coffee, كذا من coffee shops وكذا. زين. I have nothing against it, right? But I told them, guys, any of you, I was talking to a couple of them. I told any of you know how much you make per hour? قالوا لا. قلت له, okay, go and do that. And then come back, let's sit. And I'll tell you the next part of it. Yeah. So they come back, for example, make 10 riyals per hour or whatever, 5 riyals per hour. And I tell them, okay, so you buy the coffee for how much? 3 riyals, and you make 5. So you need to work for 40 minutes تقريبا to buy that coffee, right? He's like, yeah, if you think about it like that, yes. I was like, okay, so from today, anything you buy, link it to how many hours you're working. Divide it by 22 days that you work, divide 22 days by 8 hours, and you'll get the number. You buy a cup like this, اللي هنا,
the HPM mugs, of course.
The HPM mugs, the beautiful mugs.
Shout out to AR Ceramics.
I'm saying that hopefully I'll be taking one or buying one. Anyway, you know exactly how much you as a person need to work to buy this or invest or whatever it is. But again, it's work that you've been putting. And this one also comes into your life in the future. You start thinking, should I pay to do that thing or should I do it myself? So many people انت بتشوف انه بيقول لك انا يا اخي احسن ادفع 10 riyals for this PRO to do this specific document ولا انا اروح وحدي. And we're like يا اخي ليش بس يا اخي, you can go, it will take only 2 hours. Yeah, but his 2 hours is 60 riyals. If he pays 10 riyals, he's not spending any of those 2 hours because his 2 hours he can make that 60 riyals, And this is where we start looking at what you're worth, what's your value, you as a person, what's your time value. And يقول لك الوقت is safe. Yes, وقت is safe, but you don't know how much it is. So you need to, and this is the kind of things I start developing people. They listen, they go back, they implement, and they come back after a year, after 2 years, they tell us, Kaab, the thing that you told us, it helped us 1, 2, 3, that is my satisfaction. Seeing them succeeding, seeing them becoming better people. And of course, I have to do it also, right? Because I have to lead by example. And most cases, it's positive. Some cases, it's negative. But it is what it is. Yeah.
Talking about investment, you did your first real estate investment while you're in the call center.
Yes. By the way, that was jumping into the unknown. All right?
You mentioned jumping into the unknown is usually the recipe
to success. Yes. Jumping into the unknown is usually the recipe to success.
I think a lot of people will be like, huh?
Yeah, but don't jump from a building فهمت كيف؟ أنا ما قصدي هذا So I remember in 2005 يمكن? Yeah, 2005, 2006.
Good old days, man. Good old days.
There was this blueprint. It was something new. ما حد يتكلم عن blueprints في عمان. What is blueprint? You buy a piece of paper ولا إيش ما فهمت. And I read about it and saw it again with the support of my brothers and my family. All of us saying, "Okay, go ahead and do it." I remember I signed.
The idea came from them saying, "Hey, I think now that you're working, maybe you should make an investment."
No,
where did that come
بالعكس.
from?
And my parents are not the kind of people who will push you to do anything, or even they will just let you be. My father, I think so, has which is more a saying that the world will teach you. يقولك فهمت كيف؟ all our parents تقريبا the world will teach you. And my saying is different. My saying is which is more your failure is my success. I will teach you how to do it. If you don't want to listen and you fail, it's my success, because your failure I will turn it to my success. So anyhow, we bought this. I bought the flats. 2 flats, I remember.
This your failure is my success. This is when you're competing, Ali.
No,
in which sense?
It's not about competing. بالعكس. هذا الله يسلمك. It's something to do with. وش أقول لك? I'll give a small example. My brother, for example, my youngest brother. My youngest brother ما كان يحب الدراسة. فهمت كيف؟ He doesn't like studying at all. Everyone is shouting وما أعرف إيش. فأنا قلت له هو ما شاء الله now he's doing well, by the way, just for records يعني. Then he's doing very well. He's into business and everything يعني.
ما شاء الله.
Then even in Dubai ما بس هنا. I told him, see, you don't study, which means that you will somehow be a person who wouldn't get a job, for example. You can be an entrepreneur, but no one's going to help you anyway to be an entrepreneur. And I don't see that you have that concept of being an entrepreneur, because you don't even have the minimums of studies. You're not going to college, for example. And بالعكس you got a scholarship, but you're throwing it out by doing whatever you're doing. فأنت fail. Then in this one you can leave now actually from college. I want to open a shop. I need a shopkeeper, right? And you will get a job as a shopkeeper. You can stay there. And that was the first time I told him, your failure is my success. فهمت كيف؟ أنت you fail, but I succeed. I have a shopkeeper who's my brother. فهمت كيف؟ الحمد لله. I can trust you. And subhanallah, he changed and things became better. I don't know if it was what I said, but alhamdulillah, it seems it was in his back of his head somehow. And that's what I mean when I say your failure is my success.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your sense, I can't let you go off the show without asking you the question.
Yeah, tell me.
What is the high performance mindset?
High performance mindset is not sticking to your chair and not caring where you are. Don't care where you are. Care of what you give. Don't wait for someone to come and tell you you did a good job. You should know that yourself, that you did a good job by seeing it on other people and by seeing them do other changes for the future. Once you have that set in place, trust me, you are a high performer. And you don't need to be punctual. I don't know. There are people who say you need to be punctual, you need to wake up at the right time. I don't believe in that.
More about what results you bring.
What results you bring. I really don't care about what time I wake up, what time I sleep. I know it's bad for me in some cases, but you can't be perfect. الكمال لله. Enjoy what you do. In a halal way, rock and roll.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, I really appreciate you coming to the show, and I think
Thanks.
I think a lot of us will really take away a good sense of how to look at leadership.
Yeah, it is beautiful. It's like what we said. Islam is beautiful. Leadership is beautiful, but you need to have no ego, too much ego.
Of course, we know why.
Yeah. And
it's your ego.
It's not your ego.
Ain't your amigo.
And also, you need to make sure that don't be selfish. Nothing is kept forever. لا الكرسي اللي انت جالس فيه ولا البوزيشن that you have, not even your own life. You can go anytime. Enjoy it while you do it and keep your results, not your positions and stuff.
Kaab,
thank you
again. Thank you so much.
شكرا